mentioned earlier today, the first 300 years of the papacy, all of those popes were martyred. So it has been a difficult, dangerous path. So as a Catholic, I look at it and I feel inspiration in the fact that it has such longevity. And when you talk about, this pope is your favorite and that pope is someone else's favorite, obviously these people reach Catholics and people outside the Catholic faith in their own way. But the thing about this, the Catholic Church, is that it's not about any individual. It's not about any charismatic priest, although we love them and we love it when people can, reach us that way. But it's about the word and it's about the gospel. So no matter what is happening, that is what has driven the faith for thousands of years. And it is an extraordinary story of longevity. And as I said earlier, the longest surviving institution in history. So it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's an unbroken chain of popes. I mean, it's the first pope was St. Peter. And that's why we see St. Peter holding, if you see images of St. Peter, he's holding the keys. When you look at any statue, if they're holding the keys, oh, that's St. Peter. Those are the keys.
As you pointed out earlier, the conclave means with key, which I did not.
Conclave. Yep.
Conclave. So, Martha, you've been there for a couple of days, and there are many tens of thousands of people who have come from all over the world, and just regular people. And watching, I love the images of all the people that lined the streets and that were around, watching the funeral, participating in the funeral. Are these people who were visiting anyway, or were these people who, he died on Monday, early Monday morning, U.S. time, and just said, you know what, I'm going to spend, thousands of dollars. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get there, to go to Rome, to go to see the funeral?
I think it's a combination, Charlie, but one of the things that Pope Francis did was that he made this year, 2025, every 25 years, is a holy year jubilee. So he invited everyone to come to Rome this year and to walk through these sacred ports, the holy doors of the four major basilicas, invited everyone to come to Rome to do that. And so I think there are a lot of people who were here for that reason. I think a lot of people came over Easter. It's extraordinary, just over the last few days, because Easter Sunday was not even a week ago, and he was out in the middle of St. Peter's Square, and he said to the person who was helping to take care of him, Strapetti, who was by his side in all of these final months, he said, "Thank you for taking me back to the square." And he wondered if he could do it physically that day.
Wow.
And he went back to the people. His doctor had said, we'd like you to take a couple of months off and recover. And he said, no, I want to get out with the people. It's Easter, it's Holy Week. He went to a prison and saw 70 prisoners on Holy Thursday night. It was a tradition of his to wash the feet of the prisoners on Holy Thursday night. He wasn't able to physically do that during this Holy Week. But this is just a few days ago. And now we have this extraordinary, watching this funeral and the burial services that's underway right now. So to answer your question, Charlie, a lot of people are here because it's a holy year. And they happen to have been here during an extraordinary moment that we've all been able to watch unfold.
Yeah, it's such a reminder of our mortality. I mean, he was, saying the Mass, participating in the Mass less than a week ago, and here we are at his funeral Mass.
And Martha, there was, we've seen this image of President Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, meeting. Do you have any other information about how long it lasted? Any readout from the White House yet on what was discussed or what might have been perhaps solved?
Well, it seems it was a fairly brief meeting, but I think it's very interesting that of all of the people that he could have spent time with here, in the short time that they had this morning, it was Zelensky that he met with. And we know that they have worked on a ceasefire, that the president was hopeful when he was campaigning that he could wrap this up very quickly if he could make some kind of arrangement between Russia and Ukraine. But what we've seen over the past several days is that Russia has not been playing ball. And in fact, they have been sending missiles into Ukraine and injuring more people during the course of this. We saw yesterday Steve Witkoff meeting with Vladimir Putin. So maybe the fact that that meeting just happened and the Zelensky meeting was a priority for President Trump today may mean that they are starting to see some movement here, which obviously would be just so welcome for all sides as we watch this unfold. But interesting. He said it went well. That was the word from the White House. That was very productive. So we'll wait to hear some more details, and hopefully it's moving in a positive direction.
Well, it's a real indication of his priorities. I mean, it's one of the things he said he was going to do. He wanted to wind down wars. I look at that image. I'm going to tell you, like, Dana, you're right. I mean, the photographers captured it perfectly. I look at that inside of St. Peter's Cathedral just before the funeral mass of Pope Francis, who also wanted an end to this war. And I think the thing that comes to my mind is, blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are the peacemakers. And Donald Trump deserves credit for that. He's trying. He's trying.
Absolutely. And let's hope he succeeds. It has been a really difficult chapter. And, you know, Putin, it looks like Putin's the one who needs to come around. So let's hope that those conversations with Steve Witkoff were productive as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's kind of amazing. That's just one of about 15 things, very large, major issues that this White House is juggling right now.
Well, we did notice earlier that, you know, President Trump, very much like what we saw at Notre Dame, there was a moment when he found his seat, and there was kind of a crush of world leaders that were leaning in to talk. I mean, obviously, they all want to get his ear. They'd all like to work out some kind of agreement with these tariffs. So it is very interesting that his priority was to use the time that he had to speak to Volodymyr Zelensky.
Smart and wise. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Martha.
Great coverage.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Great
Martha.
to see you. Great to see you in the morning there, Dana.
You know it.
You guys, thank you, Martha.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.